Hey guys, Dempsey here, and can you believe we are halfway through 2021 already? I mean, I sure as hell can't, but nevertheless, we're here. And in case you missed the title of today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about my favorite films of the year so far. So, shall we begin? Now before I start off, of course, I just want to take a quick second to remind you guys to make sure you hit that like button if you like today's video, and if you're new here, please make sure to hit that subscribe button as well for more new movie-related content weekly. Additionally, there are some other things I think you should probably know before I begin this list. The first being that obviously this is totally opinionated. These are films that I personally loved. So feel free to let me know if you disagree down below in the comment section. But more importantly, if you see a film, or don't see a film rather, that you think belongs on this list, there's a good chance that I have not seen it yet. I have not been good with watching all of the major releases so far. But I'm hoping to change that in the second half of the year. Hoping is the key word. So stay tuned, okay? And just know that this is obviously extremely preliminary. There are still so many other, hopefully great films to come out later this year. Secondly, I didn't really follow any award season kind of guidelines for this, and what I mean by that is I've seen other people publish their lists, and they say that it's according to like what the Academy would accept, because every kind of guild and organization has their own rules about what they deem to be an official film and whatnot. But for me, any film that came out this year so far was fair game. So if it came out in theaters or on streaming exclusively or even on VHS, it was fair game, okay? Obviously, I'm kidding about the last one. Thirdly, none of these films are remotely ranked, okay? At the very least, I'm sure that these are my top 10 so far, but I don't even begin thinking about ranking them in whichever order until, November or December, when I'm sure that I've seen a vast majority of the year's offerings. So, I mean, I'm not even going to waste any more of your time. I think the first film that I'm going to talk about is a perfect example of that because it literally just came out, and that is, of course, Werewolves Within. Imagine if you combined all of the paranoia from John Carpenter's The Thing with all of the slapstick and wit from Clue, the movie. That is exactly what this hilarious horror whodunit is. And in my opinion, once again, it is one of the funniest films of the year so far. If it sounds interesting to you, or if you want to hear more of my thoughts on it, it's actually the last film that I reviewed on this channel. So if you want, I'll put the link down below in the description box so you hear me talk more about it. Or you can just check it out. It is available on VOD right now. And I mean, it goes without saying, but I highly recommend it. That being said, the next film on my list is Judas and the Black Messiah. Now, between the stellar performances and the timely plot, do I even have to explain why this is on my list? I mean, it's not like the film won a couple of Oscars or anything, right? The next film on my list is called Mafi. Now, truthfully, I do not think that many of you guys have heard of this film, and that in and of itself is a tragedy because it is excellent. Based on a true story and set in 1980 South Africa during apartheid, the film follows a young man who begins to come to terms with his sexuality just as he's drafted to serve in the army. And it is beautifully shot, beautifully acted, and it's really just beautifully heartbreaking too. If I had to pick a way to describe it, I'd once again cross two films to give you a better idea, and those two films would be Moonlight and Full Metal Jacket. It is, in my opinion, the perfect combination of those films. And I know on paper you might think, how does that even work? But trust me, it works. Now, obviously, I love this film. It is on this list for a reason, but I really got a stronger appreciation for it after interviewing the director, which I was very fortunate enough to do. And I also reviewed the film. So if you want to take a look at any of those two things, maybe they'll give you the push to finally go check this film out. If my comparison hasn't, feel free. I'll leave the link down below in the description box as well. Malcolm, and Marie. This is probably the most controversial film on this list, if I'm being honest with you. I mean, I know a lot of people who hated this film, but I found it to be great. I mean, I thought it was a really interesting deconstruction of a toxic relationship and a really cool commentary on criticism as a whole. And I mean, the fact that Zendaya and John David Washington starred in it just so happened to be a plus. Arlo, the Alligator Boy. This is another title that you'll probably see the name of and go, what the hell is that? To answer your question, it's an original animated musical on Netflix, and I know that hearing all those things together probably raises some red flags, but trust me when I say that this is a prime example of why you should never judge a book by its cover. Okay, I initially was totally uninterested in this film. It wasn't even on my radar, if I'm being honest with you. But then a rep from Netflix actually reached out to me and told me that I should check out the film and that they would send it to me. I read the title, totally dismissed it because it sounded ridiculous. I read the synopsis, totally like, whatever, this sounds dumb. But then I got the movie, and I was like, you know what, whatever, I'll watch it. And I was blown away. The music, the comedy, it is so good. And, man, not only is it proof that 2D animation is far from dead, it just goes to show that there are still so many great, wonderful, original ideas out there. And yeah, this is a hidden gem if I've ever seen one, and I highly recommend you check it out. Little Fish. Set in a not too distant future where a mysterious and contagious illness causes people to lose their memories, one couple struggles to hold on despite the inevitable. Now, this was another film that I saw on a whim. In fact, I remember clearly while watching it not thinking much of it until the ending, because that ending really blew me away. It's one that I can't even put to words because it was so glorious. Okay, this is a film defined by the ending in the best way possible. And in the months since seeing it, I saw it in February when it first came out, I've only thought about it more, and it's only grown on me more. And yes, it's kind of timely with its themes of isolation with the pandemic and all, but it's also surprisingly touching. And that's all I'm going to say on that. Check it out. The Killing of Two Lovers. Not to hype this film up, but I'm going to hype it up. This is literally the only film I've ever seen where the opening scene left my jaw on the floor. I mean, this is probably the most thrilling drama I've ever seen in my life, and it especially blows my mind because it revolves around such a simple premise. What if two longtime lovers just came to terms with the fact that their relationship was over? In the Heights. On a lighter note, I mean, I know a lot of people really enjoyed this film, but I've spoken about this before on this channel, just how important this story is to me and just how much of a special place it has in my heart. But the reason it's on this list specifically is because not only am I glad that this film finally got made, but because it far exceeded my expectations. It was everything I wanted it to be and more. And for that, I say, salut. Inside. Bo Burnham's ode to artistry might have cost him his sanity, but my God, is it glorious. Now, this film or special or whatever you want to call it might be one of the very few instances where it's actually lived up to the hype, at least for me anyway. Is it for everybody though? Probably not, but I mean, I think white women with Instagram will probably enjoy it. In all seriousness though, if you have ever created anything, or at the very least tried, I think this film will resonate with you. And if it doesn't, then, you'll just have a couple of sweet bangers stuck in your head for a few days. Now, before I finish off my list of favorite films so far this year, I do, of course, have a few honorable mentions, and they are I Care a Lot. Which, yes, I do care about you guys, but I'm talking about that excellent thriller where Rosamund Pike reminds us how she was robbed of an Oscar by stealing from old people in style. Army of the Dead, which actually might just be the first film that I hate so much that I love. And if you think that makes no sense, well, then have you even seen the movie? And The Sparks Brothers, aka Edgar Wright's excellent documentary about the world's most influential musicians that somehow no one's ever talked about. Until now. Now, my final favorite of the year is... Truthfully, if you asked me to pick one film right now that I probably enjoyed the most so far this year, it would probably be this film. I mean, watching it, I laughed, I cried, I lost 15 pounds, or at least it felt that way from all the laughing that I was doing. Not only is it a great animated film that makes the most out of all of its fictional elements, but it's just an overall great film, and an even greater family film. It really checked off a lot of boxes for me, and I haven't had this much fun watching a movie in a very long time. So, obviously, if you haven't seen it yet, what are you waiting for? And there you have it, guys. These are my favorite films of the year so far. Now, if you like my list, if you disagree with it, if you just want to tell me what some of your favorite films of the year are so far, that's what the comments are for. So please let me know down below, and I look forward to reading and responding to all of them, as always. Now, that being said, I do want to thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day to view this video. It really does mean the world to me. And once again, if you like this video, please make sure to hit that like button. And if you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button as well for more new movie-related content like this every week. But that's pretty much all the time that I have for you guys today. As many of you guys know, I am a very busy person, and I have so much more planned for you. So stay tuned for more videos in the next coming days and weeks. And in the meantime, I should just probably get back to work, right? Until next time, I'm Dempsey Pulot. Take care.